What's up guys, welcome back to Sailing GBU. Today is a very exciting video, especially for me. I've been waiting to film this video. We are showing the reveal of our brand new interior of our boat.
Yeah, I mean, I know you probably don't recognize me with the collared shirt on. Basically, I ain't Larry Laminato no more. I'm not James Bondo. I got a new name now after looking at the inside of that boat.
You don't have to wear your holy outfits anymore.
Yeah, my new name is Thaddeus Worthington. I'm a bougie boy now. You know, I worked hard on my boat, so all my old thug nasty nature, it's all gone now. I'm a nice boy. The boat is too beautiful to ever even claim gangster. But, you know, we're going through the new boat today, and a lot of y'all have been following along with us on this journey, and a lot of y'all are new here with this journey. So we remade our whole boat, and we've been living the boat life for 5 years now. And when you get into the boat life, there's basically 3 ways you can do it. You can either not have a budget, which is the best way to do it, buy the boat, go out and enjoy yourself, don't worry about nothing. You can have a decent budget and, you know, maybe finance a boat or get some payments, or maybe just buy a boat like just under the $100,000 range and then go out and enjoy yourself and just fix things and update here and there. Or you can do it our story. We're the only ones I ever heard of doing this, that just buy an absolutely gangster boat with absolutely nothing on it and then just leave. A lot of people have gangster boats, but they don't leave, and a lot of people leave, but they don't have gangster boats. We was the only one that intermingled those, and we're
probably not the only one, but
we're the only ones. So we was the most gangster, and we suffered in a lot of ways. Like I said, with hand steering, we never had anything that could drive our boat, so we had to drive it all the time, which was crazy. We never really had a reliable engine, so we could only motor like maybe 2 miles at a time, which was pretty crazy if you go 3,000 miles and you gotta not motor the whole way. We never had a refrigerator. We had a gangster cooler that would talk trash all the time, so we had to axe him. You know, it was hard living out of a cooler for a long time. And then what else would we do? Oh yeah, to even get off the dock, I had to take driftwood that I found washed up in the mangroves, and I fashioned myself a bracket to put the outboard motor, a transom, yeah, so I could get the outboard down in there so I could motor down the intercoastal waterways of South Florida with my little 9.9 Mercury. So we did some gangstering.
We got our sails. Our first sails came out of the trash.
I did so much ratchet stuff that I can't even remember all of it. Yeah, we got a sail out of the trash in Key West.
And he clipped them on with backpack clips.
Yep. We didn't have hanks because bronze hanks are like super expensive. So I just used backpack clips from Walmart. And we put 3,000 miles on that ratchet setup. And you know what? When we got here, we decided it's time to live it up. It's time to make some small contributions to the boat and upgrade it just enough to make it somewhat safer, because I don't want you to die. So a lot of upgrades we had made on the boat were big ones, you know, big major components of the operations of the boat, the sailing of the vessel. We got all new sails, we did all new rigging, standing rigging, which was pretty crazy. Me and Kristen had to work hard on that, and it's a big structural part of how the sailing rig works. We got all new running rigging, we did an all new big solar panel farm, and then we did our batteries and stuff like that. Not to mention we completely painted the outside, completely reconditioned the bottom, as well as the outside, took out a bunch of soft spots in the deck. So we had done a ton of work, and we were really committed to this boat on the outside operations, and that's why we decided to go forward with this refit. A lot of people had crazy questions. Well, I guess not crazy questions, it actually makes perfect sense. We were obviously putting a ton of effort and a decent amount of money into our interior refit, and people said, oh, why didn't you just take that money and buy a bigger boat, a better boat? And the reason that we didn't do that was because for the relatively small increase financial investment in the boat interior refit, we wouldn't be able to get a new boat, a different boat, anywhere near that price that would have new sails, new rigging, new solar, new batteries, fresh deck work, and a fresh bottom job. You're just not going to be able to find that very easily for much less than $60,000, $70,000, which I can tell you we definitely did not spend on this refit. So that's the reason we stuck with our old girl, because we were committed to her, and everything's brand new on her pretty much, except for the inside. And now the inside's even like better than brand new. I'm telling you, I really hate to brag and like blow my own horn on this, but Kristen did an amazing job with the interior design, and your boy Larry Lambs knocked it out. It looks so beautiful. I can't believe it looks this good. So let's get into it, and let's go unveil the magic. As you can see, we are starting off in the galley.
We have made so many upgrades to this galley. I am going to be so excited. Okay, that's a lie. I never like cooking. I'm going to be so excited to maybe cook a little bit. But to start it off, we upgraded our sink. We got a much bigger sink installed. We used to have a smaller divided sink. I know a lot of people like the divided, but
people were mad, boy.
I really like a bigger sink to catch as many dishes. When you're on a boat, last thing you want is overflowing dishes. You don't have a dishwasher, so you have to constantly keep up with your dishes. It's going to be a great upgrade. We also got a brand new Force 10 2-burner stove. And if you knew what we had before, we had a broken stove, propane stove, with a camping gear installed on top that we were trying to make it a repair. It worked actually for a long time, but we never had the oven. Now I have an oven. I know it's hot and we don't have AC, so I don't know how often I'm going to use it, but I'm excited to at least have it. The next thing we did was we took off our old dragon door. It was a pull-down cabinet with 3 small drawers underneath. We never used the small drawers underneath. There was nothing that could fit in those but trinkets and trash, pretty much. So we took that out, and now we have a perfect sliding doors. It has fully made our space so much more in there. And talking about space, I know I'm going a mile a minute. I'm excited about this, but we upgraded our drawers. Before they were on, what would you call those bottom sliders? Basically sliders from 40 years ago. Yeah. So they were stuck and sticky and the drawers were small. You couldn't even barely fit in a spatula. They were horrible. Matt redid them for me, put them on push button sliders, and now I have so much more room. Even the bottom drawer can probably even hold pots and pans.
Or these cookie pans. For your muffin pans.
Yeah.
She got a bunch of little pans for the new oven, so your boy's they're gonna be calling me El Gordo. Sorry, Dad, I know you think I'm the fattest thing on the planet, but I'm gonna get even chunkier. Outside of the box, you can see the new counters. They probably look beautiful on tape. They're a little bit funky on the edges here. They're not crazy. Hopefully, if you ever come by my boat, I'll show you and I'll say, look how terrible that looks. And we'll all laugh together and drink a Modelo. But I decided I wanted these to be as light as they could be. A lot of people do Corian or some heavier materials. I did it with PVC, which was extremely light. You can see I can move it whenever I need to. It's 100% waterproof as well. No rot, no bugs, so that's really, really good. And it was interesting and it was fun to make them. They came out...
Plus, we now have the in slots, so now this can be a whole working area where we have more counter space. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, Kristen said we were moving the cushions and the cushions were laying up here, and she said, you could even sleep up there. And I said, why would I?
There's tons of counter space
now. But
yeah,
she was weird about sleeping on top of the counters. But yeah, we did that one, and then we did the companionway. I completely redid that. The old one was like an old... I don't know, it blocked off a lot of the kitchen. You kind of had to walk around it, and it was just really ugly, and it caught so much cat hair and dirt. It had a bunch of little corners in it that you could not get clean, so we did a nice finished, more modern look with that as well. And, I got rid of a lot of hardwood, so that actually came out lighter also. And then I did my slider trash can. The slider trash can might have seemed like an overly crazy, why is he doing that? Why is he going so luxury? But it's a lot easier to clean when you don't have a door on the outside catching cat hair. I'm not getting rid of Bear. That's my heart and soul, so I'm never getting rid of her. So I got to deal with the cat hair. I got to deal with dirt. This is just a flat surface that you can wipey.
Plus, you can cut things up on here and just slide it off the counter into the trash can.
Yeah, it's convenient. Was it easy? No. And I can still access everything back there. I have a seacock under there that I have to get to, and I can get to the plumbing easily as well. So it was. Those were the great kitchen or galley things that I came up with that I had fun doing, and I think they came out well.
All right, so we made it to our salon, and as you can see, we have new cushions. The cushions on one side are reused from our old one, and these are new high-density foam on this side. We have brand new Sunbrella fabric, so it's gonna be good. They're gonna last, and I sewed them personally myself if you didn't catch that episode. We also have brand new cabinets, as you can see behind us. The Matt created these cabinets. He designed them himself. Obviously, they're custom to be completely wipeable in the front. No dust or dirt can get stuck in weird trim. Now we can easily swipe across all of them and keep our boat clean. On top of that, we covered up the opening we had previously where you can see a whole bunch of junk. One thing I hate on a boat, since it's so small or any tiny living space, is for you to see all of our junk just hanging out. Like the clutter, it just really bothers me. So we covered that up. And overall, your new cabinets made a ton more space for us.
And I think it looks great. And the cleanability, I think, is going to be a big life-changing event for me. Also, in the salon, I was able to completely redo the floors, which was great because the old floors, I had the wrong tools. So there was a bunch of gaps, bunches of cracks. It just didn't look good. So I got the new floor in. That thing's looking clean and wet. I did the overhead lighting. We used to do like the sconces. They used to just be lights on the wall, and it was so dark in here that it kind of gave it like a dungeon-y feel for me. The overhead lighting spreads the light evenly. You can see a lot better everywhere inside the boat, so I was really happy about that. It's just the lighting isn't a focal point. The lighting is just the lights. You don't even really notice it at all, so really happy that that happened. And then also my pull-out bed. We're sitting on a couch right now, but just with a zip-zap of me pulling this, it converts out into what I'd say is a full-size bed. It's bigger than a twin for sure, so that just pulls right out. I have a nice secondary sleeping area for when Big Mama gives me my walking papers from the V-berth and says, hit the bricks. So
or
it's
sometimes when it's hot out.
Sometimes it's just too hot in that V-berth, you know. Sometimes they get real hot. And yeah. But anyway, so now I have a slide-out bed here too, or for neighbors, you know, if we ever have a sleepover with our boat homies, they can sleep on the pull-out bed. So those were some of the major improvements in the salon. Other than, you know, obviously we did trim and fresh paint and all that, but those were the big overhauls. Alright guys, so we're back in the salon here. I know we kind of covered that a little bit, but this particular area, it's not in the salon no more. It's its own area of no man's land. I wouldn't even know what to call it. An extra counter perhaps, a mini half galley. I don't even know what to say. But this was just where our fridge used to sit, and it used to be a nav station, but we don't do paper charts no more. We don't really need a nav station. The nav station is the phone. It's 2022, and the good Lord bless us.
You can always roll your papers out.
Technology, yeah, and I could use this as an old nav station. And before you get in the comments saying one day you're gonna want them paper charts, no, we ain't never gonna want paper charts. So don't even spend your time doing it. But we converted this into a booze locker. This area right here, you can open up this top part, and that's where instead of storing the beers in the bilge, we can now fit probably 12 bottles of liquor or a case of beer and 6 bottles of liquor or wine. You know, we can do wine or milk or juice. We might decide to go to an AA meeting and decide to retire from drinking. And then also a refrigerator spot. The fridge goes under there, and now it's not just flopping all around when we sail. It's got some tie down straps in there. So this area, I can see Bear sitting on this and pretending that she's Scar from Pride Rock, just looking down, lording over us. And I think she's going to enjoy it, but this was a great addition to the salon or the kitchen. I don't even know is it salon or kitchen?
It's the Galley salon, so it's...
Salali?
Sagally.
But then you get all the galley and
you know what? Just tell about our electrics, Matt.
Oh yeah, the electrics as well. Obviously that was exposed before and it looked like a washing machine almost. So now this dragon door comes down, and then I have a nice electrical panel with the hinge with a hinge on it and a door clip, so that it can open, and I can do it really, really easily. And we're gonna still add, I think, some cool electronics to this. So having that easy access is gonna come in handy.
Now we come into what we call our half bath area. It basically is the sink, another sink for like the bathroom area, but not in the bathroom, or the head as they would call it. We really upgraded this area with a brand new cabinet that has a nice decorative area underneath for towels or toothbrushes or decorations, whatever you want to put down there. We also upgraded the sink. We got a porcelain sink that now is deeper, and before our old one, it was like uneven, so the water would never like go down the drain and it would get dirty in weird spots. It was a nightmare. It was obviously 40 years old, so we got rid of that, and we still have some nice lighting in here. So overall, this area has really came up in the world, in my opinion.
So welcome to my humble abode, or should I say welcome to my humble commode. This is the head of a boat. The bathroom's called the head, so this is my new and improved one. The old one used to have this crazy pocket door right here that was buck wild. It came out like it encroached on your space while you were trying to, you know, exit yourself of toxins. And I don't know how to nicely say that. But yeah, so I took the old pocket door out. It was gone and replaced, and you know, now I have this cool door that swings like 180 degrees, so it opens all the way up. And now we have a nice open space in here. So where the pocket door used to be, Kristen put a nice towel rack over there, so that's good. When you're done taking a shower, you can reach over there and easily get your towel. We went with the same overhead lighting in here, which brightens it up a lot more at night. You can see yourself, you know, making sure you're getting everything when you wipe and all that. And in the shower, the biggest, there's two big improvements that we made. This used to have trim that connected it to the fiberglass frame of the boat. And what I did was I took all that trim off and connected it with the actual fiberglass from the shower to the fiberglass of the boat frame or panels, whatever it was in there. And then, so now that's all waterproof, where water can't leak out at all. And it's much, much more wipeable, where like dirt and slime and things like that, you know, soap scums that would set on that ledge, those are no longer in there. And then also we have the shower niche, which is a great place. We used to have this weird thing that we got from like Dollar Tree that was like a corner stick in, and that thing got filthy also. It was a nightmare to clean. It would fall off occasionally while sailing. So the shower niche worked out really well as well. We still have our old electrical toilet that we just push a button and go off with that bad boy. So it's nice in here. Nice trim on this edge. It's all that old wood crap, and it's beautiful. I'm happy. All my wildest dreams came through with this head.
All right, we've made it to the V-berth, my favorite spot. This is where I sleep. This is where I relax. This is where I edit my videos, and it got a full remodel basically. We used to have old vinyl on the wall that we got from Joann Fabrics that was not the real deal. It got moldy. I scrubbed it and scrubbed it. It turned a yellow, it was like, I hate to say it, but pea yellow color, and it used to be a light cream, so it had to go. I ended up splurging on this foam back vinyl. This claims to not change color from the sun, and it's supposed to not grow any mold. So we'll see. So far it's been nice, able to clean it, wipe it down. I kept my same cushions that I had before. We upgraded the lights again with the overhead lights, and now I have a lot more. They're a lot brighter, and they're dimmable. So, you know, you can get that romantic time up in the V-berth. And then my new cabinet is the star of the show. Matt made me a custom cabinet. Before it had no back, so things would like fall out to the chain locker, which was horrible, so I never really used it. And he added a bottom pull down area, so I have way more storage in here. We also got new windows in the entire boat, so now I can even see out my windows. I can say, oh shoot, there's a dolphin. Who's that guy's boat almost crashing into us? What's that over there? So overall, it's really came up in my life. I almost forgot. We redid my closet, so I have more storage for my clothes. We added drawers. I also have motion sensor lights or just regular lights, whatever you want to make them. And I have a small pull-out area for hanging up clothes. I don't hang up as many clothes as I fold them, so hopefully this brings up a lot more space for me and all my clothes and bikinis. Because you know, I have a lot of bikinis. I did cut down on them, but I still, you know me, I can't stop buying them. So this is our aft cabin, and before we had it, it was like my makeup room is what I called it. It basically just had a dresser with a drawer, and I put a mirror there, and this is where I'd get ready, and we also had this pantry. The biggest upgrade that we've made is we got rid of the makeup room, and now we have a brand new washing machine. It is a mini washing machine, but it should help with all of our laundry, and we have to hang it up still because you don't have a dryer on a boat, but it's gonna do a lot for us. And we just basically upgraded this room, painted this so now it's wipeable paint, so it should stay a lot better for our food. And we replaced the flooring. We made it into like a garage flooring because this is where we're gonna store a lot of stuff. We took the batteries down a level, they're underneath what I'm sitting on, and now we'll slide our scooters in here, our electric scooters, and we'll have our way of transportation on land. So overall this room came up. Matt even made his access door to the engine a lot bigger, a lot more suitable, and now that we have the laminate, this overall room looks like a nice little cabin to stay in if you really needed to.
This was the biggest part of the whole refit. This was the whole reason we even came to do this, and this is what led us to this whole adventure of completely redoing the inside of the boat, because we said, well, if we're going to do that, we might as well do everything else too. And that's old Clifford. Clifford the big red dog is the name of our engine. Sorry, I put that in perfectly tight sized wise. Oh. Floppy came off. That ain't good.
Your floppy?
My floppy came off. I gotta glue that down a little bit better, guys. Don't mind me on that there. When I pulled into Fajardo this first time, you know, I was not a certified diesel installation person, and when I pull out of Fajardo, I will be certified as such. We installed the engine completely by myself. Myself and Kristen helped me out with some of it. The boys at the yard did help me put it on and kind of put it in here a little bit, but I had to go back, raise the floor up, and do a whole bunch of that crazy stuff. So the engine went in, I connected all the hoses, the muffler, the coolants, all that stuff. The bigger access panel that Kristen was talking about earlier definitely helped with that. It was a lot easier for me to crawl in to the back side and deal with the shaft so that I could get the alignment perfect. So we got that done. To dumb down the sound, that's what this foam is actually for. The foam does make it much, much quieter. When I run the engine, you can hardly hear it. It's like maybe 50 to 60 decibels, so it's much, much quieter. I think I am going to do a little bit more sound dampening to get it down as low as possible, but I'm going to do that later because at where it sits now is definitely good enough. But I want to do a quick experiment because a lot of y'all had some uppity eruptions in the comment section when you saw me doing this. Everyone said, oh my good lord, mattress material is the most flammable thing on the planet, which I didn't know apparently. I had been around mattresses my entire life and I'd never really seen any of them just burst into flames. But apparently this sort of flame is polyethylene or urethane, something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to put it next to something that's also in the engine room, like a little piece of plastic hose. And I'm going to just heat them up with the heat gun, which I know gets to like 500 degrees, which is hotter than my engine room ever will get. And I'm going to see if this thing does burst into flames, because obviously I don't want to burn my boat down. So
oh boy,
we're going to find that out live. All right, y'all. Let's see how it does.
smoking.
It will melt, but it does not catch on fire. Okay, so it took about 25 to 30 seconds to even melt this to where it started putting off some smoke or some of that harmful vapor. I'm gonna get a temperature gun or a what's it called? What's the thermostat? Thermometer. I'm gonna get a laser thermometer. And I'm gonna test this a little bit more to see exactly what temperature it goes to, but I can tell you with melting things with this and burning myself on it 1,000 times, this gets much, much hotter than my engine ever will. That engine, diesel engine, is gonna shut off at about 220, 230, 240. If it gets to 300, it's definitely gonna shut down and my alarms are gonna be going off anyway. So
yeah, because the tube melted just as much as the foam at the same
Yeah,
time.
the tubes that are all in there melts faster. This melts faster. It would catch in flame. I bet if I held this right up an inch away from wood, that would catch on fire eventually. Either way, this gets much hotter than the ambient temperature is going to be in my engine room. So my logic to me tells me that there's no way that this is going to just burst into flames in the midst of my engine room. I think it's going to be the same as every other foam that I've looked up. It's just not as dense, so it doesn't provide as much noise control. But as far as flammability, all foam panels are mostly, unless you go really high end, all equally as flammable.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll see if we catch on fire.
And then also another big thing that I did, a big addition, I think, to the overall happiness of life was the companionway doors. I made them like swinger saloon doors so that now you don't have to take the little slats out, pile them up, they fall over. You got to get crazy and then pile them up and down whenever you want to go in and out of the boat at night. But I have the doors with the screens inside that I can just close, and the bugs stay outside and I can stay inside. But if I hear something outside and I got to run out, I just open, jump outside, close them, 2 seconds, not a bunch of stuff to take out. So I'm pretty happy with that as well. And then I also installed an autopilot. We installed an autopilot. And basically all that does is steer the boat while I don't want to do it and she doesn't want to do it. Maybe I'm catching like a world-class tuna, or maybe I'm taking some photos of Kristen while we're sailing. You know how girls like to get them photos when they're sailing? They all turn into Jeffrey Dahmer and they say, relax, just want to take some photos. And then I'm like, I'm trying to drive the boat, and she's like, relax, just want to take some photos.
Stop, that's scary.
And
I don't like that accent.
So yeah, it'll be great to take some more videography. You know, if we see a whale, all the travelings we did, we'd see pink dolphins doing flips and stuff like that. True story. And Kristen's like, wow, look at these dolphins. And I'm like, I can't hardly see because I got to steer the boat. So now we'll be able to flick on the
pink belly dolphins.
We'll be able to flick the autopilot on, and you know, we'll have some good things going. So I think overall, thank you so much for watching us build our new home. But I think we came up over the world. Now we can do. I'm going to name 5 things that we couldn't do before this job, and then you're going to name 5 things that we couldn't do before this job. So one thing we can do now that we couldn't do before is bake cookies. Now you name something.
Wash our drawers with a washing machine.
Another thing that we can do, so we got baked cookies, wash our drawers. Now we can wash your drawers. If you pull up on me,
We're not washing none of
with
your
some
drawers.
stank drawers, I'll
No,
say,
we're
I'll throw a
not.
load. Okay, sorry, we can't wash your drawers. We can go outside of the boat without having to take the door all apart.
Yeah, I can clean the boat, and it actually looks clean when I'm done.
We can clean the boat and actually look clean when we're done. We can store our booze, but not out in the wide open where everybody could see and judge us for drinking too much Jägermeister.
We can pull out the bed now for a much bigger, nicer bed.
We can sit down in the shower to take a shower because it's so much more cleanliness in there and you don't have a bunch of weird edges with soap scum on them.
True. We can now, our countertop keeps a bigger spot, so we have more counter on top of the kitchen area. So I can do more bigger projects like, you know, knead out biscuits, maybe.
Yeah, or any sewing projects, we'd have a more... Oh, now I can take beautiful photos of you while we're sailing, and I can go catch world-class tunas without having to steer the boat. And we can, or on a passage of 100 miles or more, which is 24 hours, one of us could actually sleep at some point.
And we can film at nighttime because of our lights.
Bam! That's 10 great things that we could do. I'm sure there's 100 more.
We can engine. We can use our motor.
Oh, yeah, we can use our motor. How pure of sailors are we that we don't even consider using our motor? Yeah, we have a whole motor where we can back down on the anchor. You guys know when I used to swim down there
We
and
can
just
grab mooring balls without having to sail to them.
Mooring balls without me having to jump off the front of the boat with a line in my hand and tie it on like a lunatic. We don't have to push the boat with the dinghy no more. So yeah, those parts are good too, I guess. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for GBU mankind.
So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And I think we're going to have to tell everybody how much it cost and how much our 5K boat. I don't know if I can keep dragging on the 5K boat, guys. Let me know. Should I keep dragging it along? I think I'll never give up on calling it the 5K boat. We bought it for 5K and I'm proud of it. So
I think it's just the amount that we suffered for the first 4 years of living on that boat. that's why it'll always be the 5K boat to us. We went to the Bahamas from Key West, which was a 4-day overnight trip that we hand steered. So do the quick math on that. Our boat goes 100 miles in 24 hours. So that was 4 days of 2 people having to steer the boat. So you can just consider how much sleep we got on that trip. So for that one trip alone, it will always be a 5K boat for me. All the times I had to eat dirty ham out of the cooler water that had fallen in there. Once it touched the cooler water, she wouldn't eat it, but I'd still be... I slurp it right up out of
stop
there.
with the sound effects.
But yeah, we're gonna come back next week and we're gonna do a video we'd like to do. Let us know in the comments below, but over what this interior refit cost us in addition. And then I think we're going to go over some of the other components too. Obviously, our sails are less than 2 years old. Our rigging's less than 2 years old. You know, what the engine costs. Basically, I want to give like an up-to-date value of or what I would consider dollar for dollar what I have into this boat over the last 5 years. And then also some systems components. Maybe explain some things like how much water the washing machine uses. Because I know a lot of you guys are considering getting some of these additions.
We're going to probably do some of those things as we go. But let us know what questions you have down below. And we'll probably answer those in the next video.
Yeah, next video I think we'll do the financial breakdown of what it costs to have a boat that's 37 feet long. But looks this god dang beautiful.
Also, check out our merch. I have a new shirt coming out, guys. Get excited. It's going to be a little different than what we have done in the past, and it might be limited edition. It's going to be something to celebrate our big refit.
Yeah,
so
she went
if you guys
ham with this one,
enjoyed,
y'all.
if you guys enjoyed this whole saga and this refit, make sure you cop yourself one of those shirts. So, anything else you got to say?
It should be interesting. No, I'm super excited about the boat, guys. I can't tell you how happy I am with how everything came out. We should be sailing pretty soon, getting some stress on this rig, seeing how everything works while we're out and about there, rattling around, bouncing through these vicious seas. But yeah, I can't say that, you know, I could easily be a dock princess now and just live at the marina forever and go, wow, what a cool boat.
You got to pop your collar for that. Alright guys, we'll see you next episode. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you next week. Bye!